Okay, here I am, and I'm testing. I'm going live again and hoping that everything works out. Testing the internet. Done this a few times already. The first time, the other day, tornado warning happened, so I had to stop. Second time, it was that was really just a pure test. But here I am. I guess what I'll talk about is the news of the day. Get my phone here. 45 met with German Chancellor. Let me see, what's his name? You see the filter going on now. I tried to turn down the filter, but it did some weird stuff, so I just have it at this, whatever this is, and I know it's just a blurring effect. So okay, well let's talk about this. So the whole thing with, and they'll say Leon, and 45, they're having a fake fight. Now, it could be real. They might. Here, I'll pull cards while I talk about it. So, a lot of people are saying, oh, sure, they're having a fake fight. What's really happening is they are, okay, this is for, what they're really doing is trying to save Leon's company, the car company and everything, because it's lost a lot of money, because people, not just here in America, but all over the world, can't stand the guy. It's literally not just here in America, it's everywhere. And his Star satellite company has been banned all over the world. So it's very possible that this is a fake fight. Now, C45 is saying today in the Oval Office that Leon has 45 that he has TDS. You know what that is? It's derangement syndrome, T derangement syndrome, allergies. So let's ask the cards. Are they really fighting? Are 45 and Leland really fighting? Are 45 and Leland really fighting? That's the moon in reverse. So that would be truth. There's some truth to it. The other day when Leon had that black eye, he said, oh, my kid X did it. Leaving the government, the Hierophant, and leaving. So that would be, by the way, this is absolutely swallowing me, this whole back of drawer, so I may take it off. What you'll see is Kitty. It's very dingy looking. I'm in my daughter's room, basically. Used to be my study. And Kitty's laying on the bed with my painting of George Harrison. So welcome to my world. I'll show you here. Very dingy. I don't know if that's better. I guess I could leave it. I feel so exposed right now. Oh, man. I think I'll put it back on because I'm distracted by everything. Maybe let me do this one. I like this one. There. That's a little bit lighter and happier. It's another dark and dreary day here in Kansas. Well, anyway, we have the Hierophant and we have the Six of Swords, which is somebody leaving. Somebody's leaving. So that would be the government, and someone leaving the government. Now you could say, well, he's heading to, but not necessarily. If you put it this way, he's heading away. So it's very possible. And there's 5 of Cups. So I do think that Leon is dissatisfied. He probably asked for something and 45 said, no, you've had enough. You've had enough access. I'm done. He probably said, I want you to support such and such and make a public statement. And 45 was done. He's done with it. I don't know. Let's pull some more cards. How is Leon Lusk feeling? How's he feeling? The World. That's a completion. He's done. So I don't think it's a fake fight after all. Yes, will it help his company? Probably. But, and then you have to ask, if Leon is this upset, like he's against the big bill, that's going to kill a whole bunch of people, unalive a whole bunch of people for entertainment purposes only, which anybody should be against that bill. It's the manifesto. And he said something publicly, and you know how 45 is. It doesn't matter how nice you've been to him. You could kiss his feet for years. And the second you say one bad thing about 45, he goes for the jugular. So, and then saying that Leon has 45 derangement syndrome. Listen, we all have it. By the way, whenever I hear that, it doesn't sound the way they want you to think it sounds. It sounds like MAGA. That's what it sounds like to me. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, female trouble, money, America. That's America. He's got other things to worry about. Maybe there's a woman. Yeah, it's like America upside down. And Leon says, if America dies and this big bad unalive bill that's going to unalive people, it may help the rich for a while, but actually America is going to go down like the Titanic, and there won't be any more money. I'll have to go back to another country and leave America. So I think it's real. And the black eye again, let's go back to that. The black eye. I really think that it wasn't X. I think that Leon was so high and he was tripping balls basically so much that he got aggressive, and they had to literally restrain him. I think that he got in a fight with someone in the Oval Office. I don't think it was Stephen Miller, about Stephen Miller and the affair thing with Leon and his wife. I don't think it was that. I really think that, see, there's 6 Pentacles, writing off the government, getting money from helping 45, and then saying one thing against 45 and being kicked out of the club, like a mobster style. You don't say anything to the king. You don't say anything to the mob boss. And I actually do think that Leon is upset. And also, I think that he thought he was going to have a much bigger official role in the White House. And when he was told, probably by someone like Stephen Miller, that he would never have like vice president type of status, access to the White House, all that he wants. He's already had enough. And I think that's what I'm feeling. And then they started to cut him off. I think Stephen Miller is the one who's stepping forward. See, I think that Stephen Miller and others, for entertainment purposes only, are frothing at the mouth, waiting for 45 to pass away, and so they could take over. However, if you say that, here's the thing, like, why wouldn't they want him to go to jail? If he was in jail, they could take over. Well, then they would be implicated too. So obviously they don't want that. And also what I got was that 45 right now is saying all these things about how he's going to prosecute Biden for Biden not disclosing his health issues. Hello. That's like, remember when 45 had blood blisters, like syphilis blisters all over his hands, and he wouldn't tell anyone what that was, and covers his face, his pocked face, with all this, like it's 1700 Europe and everyone has smallpox and there's lead powder all over the face. I mean, 45 hides everything. He literally has lifts in his shoes and a girdle and wears a diaper and won't tell anyone, but we all know it. Biden's cognitive abilities were fine. He worked harder than any president I can think of in my lifetime. But was he getting foggy? Yes, he was. Oh, Kitty wants out, so that's going to be a problem. Well, nobody's here, so I'm going to say a few more things, and I'm glad this is working. I think that it shows my internet works. If anybody does show up, I'll answer some questions if you'd like, or leave them in the comments afterwards, and I will answer some questions. Hold on, Kitty. Well, so I think it was a legit fight. I think that 45, okay, he had what I feel like he had a stroke. He's been missing for a few days, and no one, of course, they're never going to disclose it. And if he were to pass away, which I don't wish anything bad on anyone, I don't. My worst enemy, no, I don't wish that. But let's say he were to pass away. I think they have body doubles like Weekend at Bernie's lined up. And I personally feel like he had a health event. It may not have been a full-blown stroke, but I really think he had something happen. And if you notice, he was slurring a lot, more than usual, covering his hand a lot. And I don't think his mobility is there the way it was. And, you know, he went silent when this whole thing that Russia happened. So let's say it wasn't a physical event, but a mental event. I feel like something happened, though. I feel there was some sort of breakdown of the body or the mind. And maybe he completely lost it, because when Ukraine had that secret attack on Russia, which was brilliant, you know, and didn't tell 45, because obviously 45 goes straight to Putin, right? Goes straight and tells him everything. And then I think that Putin called him from a bunker, or whoever Putin's handler, because I don't even know if Putin is still around, to be honest, but it's probably him. That's probably him. And he called 45 and just said simply, deliver or die. That's what I just heard in my head, deliver or die. So I think that 45 had some sort of collapse mentally or physically over what happened in Russia this weekend. It was very devastating to him. Well, I'll tell you what, this was a test again. I wanted to see how this would go. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. I'll answer anything. I do think we're going to get more information out about the November 6th, the contest on November 6th. New York is starting to see that things were adding up. I liked what one lady said on TikTok the other day. She said that she thought that, do you remember that right before the November 6th, when the 23andMe and Ancestry and all the like DNA websites were accessed. So everybody's DNA was accessed. And if you've submitted, I haven't ever done that. And then also Leon had the fake website to call Democratic voters. It was fake. I don't know why he was allowed to do that, but it called Democratic voter registration information. And this lady said what she thinks happened was they sent out with that information fake paper ballots, like mail-in ballots. And then when people went to vote, they got turned away, and so they didn't get a vote. So like millions of people went to vote and their votes got canceled because the paper ballot canceled out, because you can't have two. I really think that there's something to, I think there's so many steps, like I posted earlier. There was the hacking of the tabulator, which really 45 admitted to when he said, thanks, Leland. Thanks for, he's a what is it? A computer counting computers. He knows them very well. And then I won. Thanks, Leon. And then I feel like, so Leon opened the tabulators. There was millions of people purged from the voter rolls before the event. Ballot boxes on fire. Mail ballots were on fire. People would receive their ballots the day after the election, and it had singe marks on it because it had been burned, and so that they couldn't vote. So we're talking about and bomb threats and polling locations closing all day in Pennsylvania with these bomb threats, which that was done intentionally. There's so many things that happen, but to me, the biggest thing was the purging of the voters before, and also the open tabulators that I get from 4 to 6 p.m. The tabulators opened, and all these votes for Kamala just ran out. And some guy was talking about why is it that in his state, all these people voted for the Democratic candidate in that local area, like the governor or what have you, senator, what have you. But none of those people voted for Kamala. I mean, it just didn't match up. None of it matched up. I think that New York is going to crack the case, is what I just heard. They'll crack the case, and it'll go wildfire. Now, you say it's so late now. They probably don't even have the paper ballots anymore. But they can do investigation. And I honestly feel like with the right price, now that Leon is leaving, I do think he is. I do think he legitimately is upset with 45 and the way he's been treated. And Stephen Miller, I'm getting Stephen Miller strong. He's upset. And I think that he could spill the beans. Now it would implicate him, right? Yes. So let's say he doesn't say it himself, but he has other people. And then now he would get in trouble. He may be long gone. He may be in his own little camp somewhere in Texas and no access. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But somebody's going to spill the beans. I think it's all going to get cracked open, and we're going to find out that we were all right. And think about it. Why was 45 saying, I don't need your votes? Now, who would say that? Who would say they don't need votes? Who would say that? Amid the huge, massive rallies that Kamala was having, huge attendance, even down to that last big rally that she had with Beyonce and everybody. And 45 saying, I don't need your votes. I mean, that's crazy. To me, he had a 350-page manifesto where he was going to get billions of dollars from the American public, and that's what he's done. And he knew that the event was going to be hacked for entertainment purposes only. So when he said, I don't need your votes, I just heard sundowning, but he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. He didn't need votes because the fix was in. And the thing was, he needed some votes. He just didn't need the overwhelming number because it was already in. Anyway, I'll be quiet. Leave me some questions, and I will try to do another live. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.